Hey guys, welcome back to another episode.
Last one y nos vamos.
Mi gente.
Welcome back, guys.
Acá Margarita feeling a little strange with the new technology.
Do you guys love it? Do you love it? Do you love it?
Yeah, especially it looks hopefully for you guys more like, wow, a different scene, and it is for the second time in the year.
Yes, sir. I have my little Hochis Pochis. I say Hochis, my Hocus Pocus shirt. I have Mr. Jack and Sally over here and some more spooky stuff over here.
Yeah, she's into the whole Hocus Pocus spooky season already, guys.
I need to get my my Hogwarts train, the one that you gave me with the whole Harry Potter collection.
Oh, but that doesn't do with Hocus Pocus.
It
doesn't do with spooky.
It is spooky because
really?
It's like wizards and witches.
So we're trying to say wizards are witches?
Yeah.
I thought they were just wizards.
Wizards. Well, there's wizards and witches. Well, I don't know. Don't ask me too much. Eso yo no sé. I really don't know anything about that. It. Yes, and today is the first day of fall, so perfect timing.
23rd. Dang.
The 23rd, yeah. I thought it was the 22nd, but I think that's for summer.
So there you guys go. I mean, we went from changing the scenery from going to already spooky season.
Yeah.
But I think that was a great transition you did there, trying to come with the spooky season, because we have been into the culture things that we have and we celebrate, or we basically hold on to as happy moments, as la comida, la banda, el tequila.
The holidays are coming up.
Everything of that nature, right? We feel proud and we basically celebrate onto it like proudly Latinos. But there is stuff that comes with it, even as eerie as it is, like your background. The eerie stuff coming that, we fight with the old culture. Meaning old culture, las crianzas de nuestros papás.
Dun, dun, dun.
So yeah, las crianzas de nuestros papás, the old system that worked for them but doesn't work for us, or didn't work for us when we were growing up.
And they want it to work for us.
Yeah, I mean, that's all they know, so that's what they show us. And again, this is just to hopefully being not like bashing on our culture, but at the same time just being almost like motivated, or maybe our viewers can see a point of what we're speaking about as them as well, if they went through it, and maybe they comment down below,
Yes, so guys, comment down below, ¿qué crianzas tenían when you guys were growing up? Or are you guys still, are people still following those crianzas? Because I'm pretty sure, there's some things that it's just hard to avoid, because again, we grew up with it, and it's part of our life.
Yeah, and for some, maybe it's not crianzas, it's more of like, this is kind of what I knew growing up. I know we've been talking a lot about, hey, our parents came and, with the whole farming, they fought to this. And that is very true. But one of the biggest ones that I can just think of that nature of, I came over here, is el reclamo de siempre. Yo vine y yo no pude. Is that correct?
Yo vine, yo no pude?
Basically, like, yo no pude ir a la escuela.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yo tuve que trabajar, yo no podía ir a la escuela, no pude agarrar mi educación. Yo vine aquí para que tú triunfes. Always pointing the finger almost, but not realizing how much damage this does to us.
No, yeah, I see what you mean. And you know what? I think growing up, I feel like it was different. I don't really remember them, like my parents, like como tú dices, like pointing a finger at you, like you have this, that you have that. But it was always like, you need to get an education. But I always felt like, okay, I need to go to school. I need to go to college. And I did. I mean, I finished school.
Really, you never got pointed like,
not
yo
that I can
no
remember.
Agarré, yo no tuve chance de ir a la escuela. That was never mentioned before?
Oh, de la escuela, sí. Like, oh man, I think my siblings, if they're watching, they need to comment down below, porque this little noggin here no se acuerda de mucho. But she would say like a la escuela, like they would tell us like, oh, we didn't finish school because we had to work, pero esos eran tiempos diferentes.
But that comes with the old style, and again, not everybody can break it, in a transition of a right time. Sometimes people do it que a los 29 años they stopped going to school because that wasn't a thing for them. But because their
¿A los qué
parents,
años?
29, 26. I know age doesn't matter on going to school, but imagine you already did 18 years of school and now you're trying to finish this school that's probably taking you another 18 years, but that's something that you didn't really want to do, but you were being poked at that, hey, go to school, you need the education, you need this, you need that. And imagine all that time until you finally be like, no, this is not what I want. What I want is, I don't know, go to work, win some money, go on trips, go to Mexico, anything that basically makes you better or makes you more happy for yourself.
Yeah. And see, you know what? Oh man, here I am talking about that. Okay, so like in general, like I know there's like a lot, like statistically speaking, like there's a lot of people who, you know, including myself, I'm one of them. I went to college, I graduated, I was like, yes. But like throughout the time that I was trying to complete school, it was like, okay, siempre me preguntaban, okay, ¿cuándo vas a acabar? So it was always like that pressure, like acabar. But I feel like I didn't really take the time to reflect to see like, is this something that I really want to do, or is it something because I want because it's something that my family keeps pushing on it. I mean, pushing for me to be done with school. And then later on, I'm like, oh, I don't really want to do this anymore. But I was so far into it already. I was like, ya no me puedo echar para atrás. A huevo le voy a tener que, you know, pretty much just find a job. And I did. I tried, after I graduated, I tried applying. But I think because my name is Margarita and I'm a woman and I didn't get hired in my field in a highly dominant male. But I mean, that's not an excuse. But I think deep down, I feel like I was just like... Oh,
but deep down, again, it came from your parents, I believe. And I say this as well because at the same time, you're trying to honor them.
Yeah.
And this is a way that you're trying to make them happy, but not realizing that you're damaging yourself with this happiness. And it's basically, again, the old system. Because if you were able to change that at one point or realizing it, like, okay, let me do something differently. And obviously we have done that. Well, I'm speaking maybe for myself. I have changed those transitions a little bit from everybody from my family, and I would say that I'm the different one. But at the same time, it was more of that, you know, like I just wanted to be doing something and not doing the same routine.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Okay, well, for example, the thing about, you know, schooling, we're into school and honoring. So one, for sure, and I know you guys have probably heard this on a different episode, but, you know, they were very onto the school. And yes, I got pushed onto that, hey, I didn't get to go to school, so go. So one, it's honoring. I think more for me was honoring them to go to school. But at that point, I knew that I didn't want to do a long-term career. So I went to technical school that was 9 months. Yeah. That was my choice. So, you know, it helped out for myself and not for my parent.
Yeah.
So honoring by, okay, I went to school and I finished it. But then here came finishing school and now looking for a job, right? So I come back. Yes, they gave me a little bit of time to do it, to find a job. But then again, the pressure again, like, hey, you need to have this, you need to have that.
When you're applying.
Or for applying or anything. Now it's not finishing school, but now is you need to have money, you need to have savings, you need to have a car, you need to have a house. So now that pressure comes along with it.
Ooh, that's a whole nother thing.
So, but sticking to school right now, or finishing school and graduating, and then the thing was like, because I was a mechanic, now I have to fix my family's car for free because they feel like, oh, well, you're a mechanic now, can you do this? You're my son, and not really saying it as like, hey, by any chance, do you have any time? Can you take a look at my car? No, it was more of like, hey, you're my son, I need you to do this because I hear this in my car. Even though maybe I had a full schedule, but that wasn't, you know, that doesn't come to their mind because whatever, maybe they're work, and they've never realized like, hey, take a step back and reflect on you also what you need.
Yeah. And more so because it's always because it's always been like, oh, me, like get an education, this and that. Yeah.
And
I
it's
get it.
overwhelming, the whole
It is.
sacrifices. Because obviously, if they've done sacrifices, and this is probably one of the sacrifices, leaving school and coming to America, or leaving their family and coming to America.
Yeah.
Now, for us in America, we're trying to fit in, correct? Like fit in to the American and Hispanic or Latino, or we're trying to fit in with the kids here and as general, as being accepted but fitting in with them, right?
Yeah.
And then when we get older, we have to stand out, meaning like, what did you provide? Do you provide this or not?
Yeah.
You're not providing anything for maybe your job or for friendships. Maybe if you step back and be like,
it's always like a constant battle, like, okay,
Yeah.
trying to do this, trying to do that.
and basically, like, let's say, like, a good example, right? The gym, or go lose some weight. Pero then you have those friends, or then you have those moments where, it's being rough for you, but somebody wants this, and you're there looking at them eating it, and you're like, damn. But then again,
It's a challenge for yourself.
Yeah, it's a challenge for yourself, but it's basically helping yourself, trying to just grasp on it and be like, this is what I want, and making happy moment for you.
Yeah. So I love our culture, and I love that our parents were able to teach us what they knew, right? Because our parents they're pretty much just growing up just as much as we are, even though they're all grown up, but they're just growing up. They're still living life, and like I said, they're just teaching us based on whatever education they had so far, whatever they have lived. They're trying to well, like they say, they're trying to give us a better life. But I mean, as generations are moving on, things are changing. We moved out here, and of course things are completely different, because I'm pretty sure, during their time in the United States, kids weren't, working, right? Like they weren't working like the way that they were working. So
Well, you can't, because there's regulations to it here.
Right. Yeah, there are. So they were living a completely different life, versus like if they were living here, it would have been a completely different thing. So I don't know if you've seen, but and that's what I think. That's what I mean. Like, generations are changing. Like, I saw a story that I was just like, dang, like this is freaking awesome. Like, I've seen, and I've told you before, I feel like I'm really, like, I absolutely love seeing like the youth, like teenagers, kids, when they're out there and freaking hustling. Like, have you ever heard of a story of like any little kid that like you feel like it's been like it was motivational?
I think it just comes with our culture. Just like you mentioned, our parents work at a young age, and basically, we see that, and that's motivation for us. Even though here in America, you're put a stop to it because there is regulations, so you're not able to. But I think you do have that feed behind you to do it.
Yeah, and I know there's regulations, but like personally, I mean, I don't know about you, I feel like it's really important for parents to motivate, not only to motivate, but to also keep an open mind of what their kids want to do. Not only that, go to school, but it's just like, okay, but what if your kid doesn't want to go to school, and because we know that la escuela no se ocupa para triunfar. So this parent, there was this kid, his name is Anthony Gonzalez. I don't know if you've probably heard of him, or AJ, or the Garbage Kid. He's a 13-year-old kid. One summer, I guess maybe he was bored on TikTok. He was scrolling through TikTok, and he saw that somebody was making money. Like, después de que pasaba la basura, a recoger la basura, he would go around his neighborhood, and he would wash them. Like, he would like kind of like power wash the trash cans.
No, okay.
Yeah, so he would clean them out. I think he was charging like $10-15 per trash can. So mind you, some people have 3 trash cans. Sometimes they have like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was charging, but the thing was, like, before he started doing all of that, this is what I mean, that it's important for the parents to keep an open mind and be okay with what the kids want to do sometimes. Because the mom said, okay, you want to do this. This sounds like a great idea, but come up with a plan and bring it back to me. So he did. He went and made his little list, presented it to his mom, and she said, okay, let's go ahead and do it. Mind you, they only have one car. She did share that they only had one car. They had to go take dad to work. So they had a really busy schedule. So even though they already had a busy schedule during the summer, she still made time to take him around and drive around the neighborhood so that he can accomplish his goal. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, like I'm telling you, like these kids are so freaking bright. They don't only spend time on TikTok or pasándosela sin hacer nada. He said that his motivator too to do that is so that he can buy clothes and school supplies for low-income communities.
Okay.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. I mean, does he have like a little, not fundraiser, but like a organization?
He does. Actually, you can, I think, I don't know if they have it on their TikTok or on their Instagram, but you can find him as the Garbage Kid. And I believe they have a GoFundMe. So in the GoFundMe, he uses that money so that he can buy supplies right now, I checked the other day and I think it was like at 6,000. Mm-hmm. I know sometimes you can close it, but I don't know. Maybe if you can go back, it's at 6,000. He uses that to buy supplies and hopefully to buy like other school supplies and clothes for other kids. And I don't know. I just thought that was amazing. I mean, I've seen the videos of him before, but I've never really looked into it.
You didn't know the backstory of it.
I didn't know the backstory. And but he says that, when he grows up, he would like to be a professional baseball player. For baseball, do you need to go to college? Because like in basketball, you know how you have to have at least 2 years of college?
I'm not sure what the rules are. Mm-hmm. I don't think so. Just because I know like there's, Cuban, Dominican that come from out there. And,
yeah.
I mean, not that I know of any college.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know because on the IE, the Sixers, they have the young guy, the 18-year-old guy.
18-year-old guy. Oh,
and
yeah.
He's
probably
already
fresh out of high school. League.
Well,
you know how sometimes, I mean, I don't know what his education background is, but you know how sometimes you can graduate when you're 16 as long as you complete your units.
But then it doesn't mean it's college. It would be high school.
You can get a college degree.
Oh, by then.
By that age, yeah. I don't know if you've heard like that kid some kids that graduate with I think you're at your niece's
honors.
School. I think they're able to do that. Yeah, remember when we went to her graduation? There were some kids that had their associate's degree already. Yeah, that's freaking awesome. But yeah, true. back to AJ or the Garbage Kid. But there's a whole downfall. So towards the end of summer, he noticed that he had to bump up the prices. So I think he started charging 15. So there was people who were canceling on him. Part of business, right? They were canceling on him. People were complaining that it was too expensive. It was during the summer, so he got to experience what a business person deals with. Right. It was really hot, so he started to get overheating. So I guess there was one day where like somebody just, got upset. They were canceling on him and that just really beat him up. Mm. And I think mom posted that, she posted the whole story and everything that had happened. And it was so sad because like they showed a picture of him like nomás arrinconado, like just, he just looked defeated. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's just like how, like, yes, great. That's the part you're on team AJ and you're encouraging him as a parent. But now how do you teach your child to be okay with defeat? Mm-hmm. Yes, let him process those emotions. Let him feel whatever it is that he has to feel. But how do you encourage him to keep going? Like how would you deal with that situation?
No, I think it comes from the background of what the parents have been teaching them, though, mm-hmm. because it's not as 1, 2, 3, like, hey, get up, it's okay, blah, mm-hmm. blah, blah. Depending on what structure they have from mm-hmm. him before, like what motivated him to do this. Yes, mm-hmm. we know it's just in trying to provide supplies and mm-hmm. for the needed. But, I mean, for my type of view, like I mentioned, the whole working as young that comes from our culture. Like, I don't know about you, but I was motivated to make money already by 12,
Same.
13, and I will have my little puestito and everything. But I was never thinking about the defeat side of it because I seen my parents always pushing. So if he was bummed out, maybe he has never experienced this, and obviously their parents haven't either.
To that
So for me, it's real hard to really answer that question because everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna go through it differently.
Yeah, but how would you handle it? How would you have that
I can't tell
conversation?
you because I don't have a kid.
You don't have a
Again,
kid.
I don't have that. I don't know what type of structure I've been giving them.
Yeah, if anyone would like to share, please comment, put it in the comments, share with us like how would, if you've ever experienced this with your own kids, like how would you deal with the situation? See, I'm thinking like the way that I would, I know we don't have kids, but I feel like the way that I would do it, it's okay. Let him go through his emotions, let him feel whatever it is that he has to feel, but then not reminding him, because I would like them to pretty much take it, sacar, have them, ¿cómo se dice? Explain
Speak
how,
out to you freely.
rather than me telling them how they should feel and remind them what their goal is them telling me and them reminding themselves what their initial goal is and what their motivation was initially. So for example, tell him, hey AJ, it's hard. So how are you, of course, let him tell him what your feelings is. Yeah, be empathetic. I know what you're feeling. I know it's not an easy thing. But what's the reason why you wanted to start this? And then have them speak out, because if you're just telling them, I feel like you're pretty much just speaking for them. And it's better if they say it y les sale de su boca instead of you telling them. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And then continue to push them and motivate them.
Yeah, I mean, as easy as it sounds, but again, maybe my response wasn't the best. But honestly, like, I think it has to go back to the whole culture. Like, I've always been go, 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 and I never had a stop or a reflection back. That naturing of like, hey, it's okay. Hey, do this. Because, hey, you had a bad grade in freaking elementary. Why are you doing bad? ¿Por qué? Why you don't finish your homework? Why no te levantas temprano? Stuff like that. So that's always being embedded in my head. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it just depends what connection you have with your kid. Because if you give them that confidence of, like, oh, great job, or like, oh, you want to do this, okay, or, feeding back to them as them feeling comfortable, I think it will come out naturally.
Yeah. Or how would you feel like if mom would have told them, hey, like, I mean, mom, I don't know if mom has any business background, but maybe just letting them know ahead of time, like, really do their research.
No, because
aside from, like, there's going to be bad days. There's going to be people. It's customer service, right? So customer service, for everybody who has worked in customer service, knows that there's people who are going to give you a hard time.
No, because I feel like you mentioned, she basically told him, give me a structure of how it's going to work, and let's do it. Because obviously, if you start pushing the negative part of it, you're just going to kill his,
no, but it's kill. I feel like it's only fair because you're giving them the reality of it. Like, even after he gave her the plan, I don't know what was in the plan, but just really giving the kid the reality. He's 13 years old now. He's a teenager now, so he should be able to.
But that's the time they're trying to figure themselves.
They are trying to figure themselves out, but that's why you're guiding. You can guide them, but there's only so much guidance that you can give them, and there's only so much that they're going to want to intake. But I mean, back to what you were saying earlier is that, about how, like, in our parents' generation was different. They're trying to do something, probably keep it the same with us, but generations are changing, and now with the example with AJ, it's a completely different thing, because like, I wonder, like, if we were to put ourselves in AJ's situation, like, knowing our parents, how would have our parents reciprocated to us.
Well, I know how they were reciprocated to it. That's what's hard to explain to you how to do it with someone else, because you still gotta figure out how that person, that human being is. For example, my parent or my dad, I don't know if it was the machismo side of it, or maybe because again, he didn't get to go to school, he didn't get to do something for himself. Meaning like what he wanted to do when he was young, he would be like, I wanted to make a buck or two, you know, but he hated that. He was like, no, you can't, like, why are you doing this? Why
Really?
why are you going to do this? Like, why you don't just ask me for it? So again, it depends the situation. But you could just think about it as like, oh yes, this and that. That's why I like that she basically said, okay, let's go ahead and do it. Give me the plan. And then when you get to that, okay, if you, like you said, okay, if he's able to open up freely and be like, Mom, look, this is happening, what's going on. I think it's more of an intake because he's being open to it already, and almost acknowledging like, yes, like I got beaten down, but Mom, can you guide me to the correct spot?
Yeah. And I hope que todavía le siga, because I think the last time they posted on their social media was on August 26th. And I know it's when school started, so maybe he had to stop. But I hope that that situation doesn't discourage him from continuing to continue to strive for the goal that he was trying to do initially, which is help everybody else. And maybe maybe he realized that business is not for him, and it's okay, right? Like it's okay. Like certain jobs aren't meant for everybody else. So
yeah, I mean, if he does, or maybe this will help him to come up with something much bigger.
And yeah, because I mean, there's certain things like that's a trauma, right? Like that's something that's was probably a traumatic experience for him, and he's going to remember that.
Yeah, but I hope to push him to the better.
Yeah, I really hope.
And
so
I
too.
think he will, because as he came up with this idea and was able to create a plan, and he's able to create another plan and maybe even bigger.
Yeah, you said wait. Right now, I don't know. I just totally I just captured what you said. You said you had a puestito?
Well, I used to try to call like lemonade stand.
That is so cute.
But it's, you guys see it.
Where though?
You guys see it as cute, but like you don't see the bigger picture.
No, I do.
You know, like for me, it's never gonna be cute. It's always like I was striving for something as my parents taught me to just move. And you know, when he was telling me like, oh, why you don't ask me for stuff? Well, obviously because I'm not comfortable, or maybe because I've seen you do this and I want to honor you by, look, I'm able to do it too. Not that if I won 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks, it was more like, look, I'm trying to do something you did as well.
Yeah.
At a very young age.
See, I'm saying it's cute because like I know what you look like when you were little. So I think like I can just imagine little Lenchito with his little lemonade stand.
Well, it was me and Corey. So
you and Corey?
He will be
pushing
right there in front of the house.
Right in front of the house.
Yeah.
How did you guys get people to
maybe
every now and then?
Yeah.
That's cute. It's cute. It's cute, but yes, thinking about it in a bigger picture, it's freaking amazing. Like I said, eso, like seeing the youth push themselves and want to, because they want to do something versus nomás andar ahí perdiendo tiempo. Like I feel like it's so freaking beautiful. It's freaking amazing that.
But you never had those? I mean, you think about, I again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds almost like you didn't have that in you. Like you didn't want to do this, or you just thought about it more as always like a playful moment.
What?
Like you trying to do something, your own money, or try
like to do
yeah, work.
I feel like I have, like when I was, you know, whenever we would go to birthday parties y quebrábamos la piñata, I remember one time I got my candy. I was like, okay, I'm going to get this, I'm going to sell these candies. And mind you, I lived hasta el fondo de la calle, and it was a dead end. So so nadie iba a pasar. So, but I mean, in my mind, it's like, oh, I'm going to get so many customers, but I didn't because nobody passed by. But I had my little candies laid out, and I was like, yes, we're going to get some cash money right now. But, you know, it's la mentalidad que yo tenía as a kid. Like,
but that was a great mentality.
But it's just like, yeah, the motivation. I feel like I've always been motivated to make my own money. Even like when I was in high school. I think it was high school when we had barely moved to Arizona. So I was like, what, 15? Maybe. Yeah, I was 15. And we had gone to the swap meet. And this lady, I can't remember cómo se fue a dar that I asked the lady for a job, but there was a puestito, and the lady, I started working with this lady, and I wanted to work, and I can't remember how long I worked for, but I don't know why, but I didn't make it. I didn't stay. Maybe because I was really shy. When I was younger, I was, oh my gosh, stupid shy. And it's so annoying because I remember I had to sell stuff, but I was just like I would just freeze. Just like I do in interviews. Eso me trae from, like, that's something that I really need to, I should probably work careful with that, but I should really work on that. And moving on, when we were in high school again, like my sister and I, we joined this program where you went to school and they paid you. And y luego también, like I tried to apply to jobs, but I wouldn't hear anything back. Like I would literally go from store to store to store, apply, and I would submit. Ya ves que antes era en papel, so give out my applications, but I wouldn't hear anything back. And I would put because in high school I was part of the way that I would pay for our tuition because I went to a private school. You would work like once a week. And I would put my experience. This is what I'm doing. Maybe I was overly qualified for them. No, that's what I like to think. I was overly qualified. But I've always siempre he sido motivada to do my own money.
Yeah, like
to make my own money.
Like the whole candy situation. You had the great concept, but you just didn't put it out to the right spot. Like, what if you would have taken it to school and sell the candy?
I know. See, that is that's another thing. Like, we have El Miguelón, right? El Miguelón. When I heard that he was freaking selling candy at school, I'm like, heck yes, that's freaking awesome. Eso, there's this feeling that I feel here that I'm just like, yes, like I'm rooting for you, síganle. But then of course, you know, he got caught, they're not able to sell it, and I get it's for safety. You know, see if, I don't know, maybe if a kid chokes on candy or they get an allergic reaction. But man, these kids that are out there hustling and trying to make money, it's just... kids giving haircuts in the restroom. Like, have you seen that before?
Yeah, but that's where we're going back to it. It's more like you said, it's just trying to actually do it and then worry about the consequences. Because if you feed both,
because you're taking a risk.
You're not going to.
Yeah, no, like you're taking a risk. You're taking a really big risk. Like with the food allergies, right? Cutting hair, infections. So that's something that the kids don't really think about, but it's just the drive and the motivation.
Well, not even adults. We don't think about that as adults either.
Well, no, because once we're adults, we already have our jobs. We're working our 9 to 5. But there's like more to it, you know.
But that's what I was trying to tell you. Like before, let's say before on high school or before high school or before, you know, your regular K2 K2 senior year, you're thinking of more how you're fitting in instead of being how you can stand out, just like when you're an adult. Because fitting in, I think, is the easiest. And if you could...
Fitting in is the easiest?
Yeah, than standing out.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Like, but, at least making it into a little grupito, you mean, right? Like, at least finding your little clique.
Were you one of those persons that you wanted to fit in on something and during K-12?
No, I think more like clothes. Like, I wanted, like, better clothes. Like, I wanted, like, name brand clothes. Like that.
It wasn't because you were trying to fit in?
Not because I was trying to fit in. Because I feel like I never really had, like, one little clique. Like I was always like, because I even to this day I feel like I can get along with anyone. So in school I was always like, okay, chill with this person during, or maybe another day I will chill with somebody else. So like I was like with different grupitos.
Okay, so now you're saying fat farm, and you're saying probably what else you guys had? Baby fat? Well, it was baby fat.
Or like shoes, like have like, because I would see like people with different shoes and I was like, oh, that looks so cool. Like I would like to have different shoes, but it wasn't because like, oh, it's because I want to be cool. It was like, oh, like I want to have like different shoes. So I think that's part of my motivator. Like I wanted to make money to buy stuff for my own without having to ask my parents. Because I never like asking my parents. That's another thing. I never like asked my parents, but then I was trying to think like, why? Because it was like, no hay dinero, no hay dinero, no hay dinero. When I know there was dinero. But I think that was my motivator. It's like, okay, si no hay dinero, I have to make dinero. Mm-hmm. So no me quería.
Mm-hmm. And now that you're saying that, and I want to bring it back to another one about fitting in. The fitting in real quick. The fitting in, I think you want to fit in because as you guys can tell, you van a decir que chingados andas haciendo con la gorra. But this is not something that I would wear back K to 12. And now I'm able to just do it because it comes back from my culture roots. And every time I go to Boot Barn, for example, it reminds me of my culture. Even though it's a full American cowboy store, but it's still part of the culture.
Yeah.
Now going back to what you were saying of like no hay dinero, like that, where I'm going back, that's an old habit our culture has because that's a lot of damaging to somebody to hear that.
It is.
Just like instead of going like that lady with AJ, like, okay, let's make a system for you to be able to have money instead of like, no, there's no money, no, there's money because lo pones in your head.
Good
and
point.
That's all you grow up with, like, no, I don't have any money. No, I don't have any money. But instead of making a plan to have money or just to be comfortable. If you want that pair of shoes, you can get that pair of shoes.
Yeah. And you're right. Like if AJ's mom was a type of parent that would be like, no, sorry, we can't, there's no money. So every single time that she tells him, oh, there's no money, when he grows up, he's going to be like, oh, well, I can't do this because there's no money. It's always going to be like, no hay dinero, no hay dinero. And I feel like that's how it's always been. And I feel like after I moved out, I was like, ¿cómo de que no hay dinero? I'm like, si hay dinero, I'm like, I can make my own money. So I'm like, I'm going to travel. I'm going to, get my stuff. But then that can be a bad thing too, because like, once you have dinero, it's like, oh, heck yes, like I can buy this, and that. So también along with that, gosh, man, parenting is, sí está complicado because you have to teach them a balance también. Sí tienes dinero, but they're teaching them like, do I want this or do I need this?
Yeah.
So if I don't need it, lo tengo que guardar. But then I'm like YOLO, like I'm only here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, especially the key word, I think, again, we say this a lot, balance. But let's put it into perspective, right?
Yeah.
Like, no hay dinero, but then it's like, yo no tuve. And then, so those two are like very damaging. Like, you want me to strive myself and do better with than what you had, but then you bring me down because no hay dinero. And it's just like, if one doesn't come, then the other one's not coming with it.
Yeah.
It's like you're always questioning yourself. So another culture thing that I have in back of my mind to move more to the adult side of it. We know family siempre se pone primero in our culture, correct?
Like families first.
Families first, correct.
Family above everything.
We have this since we're small. So may you correct me. In my time, I feel this way, and I know we talked about it, and I will put it out there with one of the things that we had mentioned when we were younger. Family comes first, so no crees que like we're trying to have a family too early stage of our age, meaning like right after high school.
Like having kids?
Having a family, having kids, having el amor de tu vida, like that, because this is all you know. Instead of having that, have a business type of mindset, travel the world, don't go to school if you don't want to, do something that makes you happy.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think it just it takes it back to like our parents, like how they grew up, right? So their mentality, or at least for our parents, right? Their mentality is trabajar, trabajar, trabajar y cuidar la familia. But I feel like that's changing. That's
why?
definitely changing. It's changing because that's not what we want.
So you're breaking the old,
just breaking the pattern, because it's like, qué hueva de que your whole life nomás, trabajaste.
Qué hueva, dang.
No, si es hueva, like, nomás trabajaste, cuidaste chiquillos, but like, what about yourself? What did you do for yourself? You're working really hard, so, all that hard-earned money, it's just gonna go to somebody else.
Yeah, pretty much in the early stage. But because, again, whoever had young kids at a young age, kudos to you. But then again, you sometimes, if we don't provide this different mentality, a lo mejor va a seguir.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're one of those people that we basically stop that routine. And I say that because I did share with you when, we were younger. I was like, hey, I want to have a kid when I'm 25. Right? But that was, again, because my mentality as before of my family. Like, I need to have a kid for my family to be able to see them, grow up with them. But instead of thinking about it like, no, this is not the time for me to have a kid. This is not going to be, yes, it'd be great for my kid to meet their grandparents. Yeah. But is that the right choice for myself?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, right now they said, like, I would like my kids to see their grandparents, but what about yourself? Like, that's what I'm saying. What about yourself? Maybe it might sound selfish. Oh, sorry, let me take it back really quick.
No, and it's true. It could sound selfish. But this is something you have to do it. And I'll give you another example, but go on.
No, I'm just saying, like, see, yo digo personally, I'm saying que hueva personally for me. Like, cada quien, if they want to, if that's what they want to, they don't, some people might not even care to travel or to go out and have fun, because quote unquote fun is different for everybody.
Yes.
So, but yeah, like, I feel like you should live your life, I guess. Just live your life however you want to, but you don't want to be like, damn, later on in the life, be like, no hice nada, like, I wish I could have done this. That's why, like, that's why, like, I want to go to the jaripeos. I want to do this, do that, stuff that I never exposed myself to, that I'm now doing it. Because back then I was just like, oh, like, a mí no me gustaba eso, but I didn't know I liked it. And I actually do love it, because I was never really exposed to it until now that I'm older. Because now I have control of my life. I'm able to control what I want, what I want to do and what I don't want to do. Versus,
but I think because you've grown up.
Yeah.
To, like, actually move on and not be the same routine.
Yeah.
And maybe you're finding your balance. So another part to it is your parents want you to be a role model. After maybe you're being selfish to yourself and you need to be selfish on this, your parents want you to be a role model as, like, oh, whatever, the big sister role, take care of the kids role, mom wants you to provide more at home because maybe she wants to do something. And again, having like a rent or asking for rent if you still live at home, great. But not making it to be like, me lo tienes que dar, or, being a role model, something that you don't want to do, but your parents want you to do it. As those little things that I just mentioned to you.
So the one that stood out most to me is like, you have to. So if
because it goes to the
you have to give rent.
Because it's the same thing as what I said about mechanic. It wasn't, can you? It was, check my car. You have to.
And yeah, I mean, if like, let's say you start working and you're still living at home, I feel like it should be a given for you to be like, you know what? I eat here, I sleep here, yo gasto, so I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give you, you know, however much I feel that is, you know,
Or you're able
gasto,
to.
and you're able to. Being rational too. Like, I'm not just going to give you like, oh, you know, here's $50. Like, what's $50 going to cover, right? So, you know, just really being mindful of how much are you really spending, and, you know, just give that. So I see what you mean. I feel like,
I mean, especially because let's say que tú, like, you're really, like, you know, trying to honor your parents, and then at the same time, they're asking you for more money, but you're barely making it and you're willing to give it, but then your mom or your dad comes with a new purse, new shoes, new clothing, and you're like, fuck, like, it's cool that your parents are doing that, but it's almost a slap into the face as well, because it's like, you're not teaching me something more irrational as like, okay, hey, maybe let's do 2 years a la mejor que, hey, give me this much, and then coming 2 years, if you're still living with them, que te digan, look, I've saved all the money that you've been giving me, let's do something with it.
see, with that, I'm okay with both. I'm okay with me giving, you know, como te dije, I'll give you like, yeah, like da de voluntad. And I'm okay with if you're living at home and your parents are asking you for it, because they have every right to. I feel like with that, I feel like it makes sense. It makes every right. They can put whatever price, and they can demand. I know se oye feo, but they can demand to start charging you rent. I'm totally fine with that, because pero así como tú dices, like, oh, you know, they're asking you for more, but then, you know, they come, you know, with all this new stuff. It's like, okay, you're not working. If they're not working, like, you're not working where you know, it's obviously the money that I'm giving you, and you're asking me for more. At the end, yeah, it sucks.
O no te dejan ir.
O no
They
te
want you
dejan
to stay
salir.
at home all the time. Meaning, like you want to move out, but they basically are like, no, porque se me va a ir mi chicacito, mejor. Like, no, quédate, stay.
Then at that point, then it's toxic. That when they don't want you to leave because they don't. It's not that they want you there because they love you and they want you to be there, but that you're just a dollar sign to them.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, going back to the whole, like, oh, they're asking for more. If they ask for more, it is what it is. Like, that's whatever it is. Like, you're doing your part. Tú les estás dando con lo, you know, estás cumpliendo con lo que te están pidiendo. Yeah, like that. Like, it is what it is. Like, yeah, I see what you mean, because like, as long as tú estás cumpliendo lo que whatever it is that what you just said that you were going to do, and they're going to decide what they're going to use the money with. If they're going to decide to be irresponsible, and you taught me that. If somebody's going to decide to be irresponsible with the money, then it is what it is. Yeah, but it is going to bug you. It is going to bug you, because you're like, damn, like, apenas, like, I'm barely making it, like you said, and now you're charging me more because you're not able to afford your own lifestyle now, or you want to afford something else.
Well, yeah. And again, this is just, you know, it happens. It happens that you are a dollar sign to your parents sometimes, and they don't want you to move out because they know how much at the end of the day they're gonna lose. And again, it comes from the old system they have. But, you know, being selfish, as you mentioned, you do have to do it.
You do have to be selfish.
Because, again, with the role model, digamos that you're living not the same life as what they wanted, and they see you that you're being more of I'm not gonna say like a better son or daughter, or maybe they feel like you have your stuff together, but then they want you to play the role model as like, help this person to do this, but you don't want to, because you know you're gonna be giving all your energy to someone that is not gonna reciprocate it as what you have built. So I feel like you have to sometimes be selfish and keep some stuff to yourself, even though your parents are being pushy about it. It's like, no, ándale, come on, blah blah blah, and then you look as the bad one.
So, like, for example, like the whole car situation, right? Like, oh, like, you know, haz el paro a so and so.
Yeah, like, for example, like now, honestly, guys, I don't even do much work
Like
to my
work?
sisters and stuff. And I think I've learned that, not because I don't want it to, but because I become a reliability to them. As like, guys, like, I'm not going to tell you I have so much stuff going on in my life and you want me to do this, but I don't want you to be
just
me being reliable to you, because what if one day I can't do it? Or un día te digo que no, and you're always being like, oh, he's going to do it. Oh, he's going to do it. I'd rather just be that bad person and be the one that tells you another path. Like, no, búscate un mecánico that actually works 24/7. Te va a costar, pero I'd rather do that than you being like, no, pues, easy way out.
Yeah.
He'll do it for me.
And then it's like, because sometimes you look like the bad guy. And like you said, like bringing it back, like, oh, family first, right? But sometimes it just has to be you first.
Yeah.
Loving yourself first. Taking care of yourself. And si no quieres,
being selfish yourself.
And being selfish. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind. Like there's, yes, family first. And going back to the whole dollar, if you're just going to be a dollar sign to your parents, unfortunately, again, it's toxic. Get out of there. Pack up like el chavo y vámonos. Te van a decir, no te vayas, chavo. Remember that part? That episode, cuando se va el chavo? Like that's gonna, like they're still gonna be there. They might be upset. They're always gonna be there, but I mean, and they're gonna be upset, but it's okay.
But then if you're making the last name honorable, I think they'll refer back and be like, oh shoot, like good thing they left. Because they were able to do this other stuff for them and honoring the last name.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it just, again, putting yourself first. And if whoever's in that situation where it's just toxic at home, you're nothing but a dollar sign, get out of there. It's really not worth it, because it's just like, it's just disgusting.
Just breaking it.
You can probably even thrive and flourish outside of there. You can. You really can.
Yeah, you could be more than what that old system has been. So
yeah,
you just have to take initiative and do it.
Sometimes the system doesn't work.
Yep.
So you gotta change it.
All right, so moving along with something more más no reflection back in your past, or not bringing you down, maybe making you remind you back in memory lane. What did you have, Margarita?
Since it's spooky season, el Día de las Brujas. So have you seen? Okay, so in Mexico, ya ves que en México se oye que las brujas y que todo esto otro. I just wanted to bring back an old school video that surfaced in el Canal 34 en Univision. Do you remember the video where they showed that there was a witch or something that looked that was pretty much just flying in the air?
Yeah, like an orb or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it looks like.
Like
right?
A what?
Like a orb.
Like a dwarf?
Orb.
Like an orb? No, it wasn't an orb. It literally looked like a witch that was just like, ding. I'll insert the video in here.
Oh,
or video or a clip. But yeah, no. Just wanted to share a little bit of that just to initiate spooky season.
Okay.
But that's it.
That's it?
Nothing too exciting, but it's spooky.
Okay.
No. But if anybody can share like any spooky stories, paranormal stories.
Yeah, go ahead and DM us if you want to be anonymous. You don't want it to be out there. You
we
can
should do
DM
that.
us on Las Bueninos Vamos Instagram
We
or
should
TikTok.
do that. You know how like you can put like questions on Instagram, and you can say like.
Yeah, but anybody in the viewers, if you want to share your story, go ahead and do that.
Yes.
Subscribe and basically send us a DM.
Yeah, and or maybe there's like some legends that people want us to talk about.
Yeah, anything spooky.
Anything spooky. Oh, I'm so excited. Even though I'm a chicken, but I want to.
All right, yeah, well, that's going to be going on, as Margarita mentioned, here coming up in the October month. So probably that's what we'll be giving you guys. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for all the likes, all the subscribers.
Yes, welcome the new subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys are enjoying this.
Yes, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Peace.